Okay, we are live, and I wanted to talk today about something I see happen all the time. Now, of course, if you're watching this later and you know that you're messed up with your systems, you don't understand computers and technology, and you need to be streamlined, I'll put a link below after, but you can always go to agenttechmastery.com, book a call with us, you can watch our webinar, you can download some great PDFs. But basically, what happens is that in this not so new world of technology, is that we always are inundated with updates. And I want you to understand how important it is to not get bent out of shape about updates or get mad that you can't find something because it's no longer in that spot that you're used to it being, because it's life. Like, consistently things will be updated. So what I see is that, like let's say a browser gets updated all the time. Sometimes it'll be automatic, sometimes it will be that you manually have to do it, but we use browsers all day long, right? So we're on our browser and we try to go to our bank, and the bank isn't working and it's coming up with an error. Well, what do you do to fix that? So here's what you do in all situations. Your app isn't working on your phone. Your computer is acting weird, right? But in a browser, what you always want to do is say hello if anyone's out there. Hi. What you always want to do is you want to make sure, number one, is the browser up to date? Okay, super important because that fixes a multitude of things. Still have an issue? Clear your browsing history, what we call cached memory, because stuff happens. You look at thousands of things and things happen, and it messes things up. It might have messed that banking up. So what do you want to do? You want to go in and clear your browsing history. And usually by default, it'll only clear your last week or something. By experience, I don't want to dick around with it and try and figure out what the heck to do. So what I do is I clear history forever, and all my passwords and everything. Doesn't mean it's gone, but it will clear out that information. And then when you log back in, probably the issue that you were having will be gone. Okay. Next thing would be to reboot your entire computer. Okay. And this is important for anything. If you're having computer issues, then reboot your computer. Does that fix it? Maybe. If not, do you have the latest software of your computer, whether it's a Mac update or a Windows PC update? Do you have the latest? If you don't, you got to do it. Okay, you got to update your computer and then reboot, and it'll probably reboot for you when you do a computer update and then bring it back up. And then also, here's another thing that I see people in general get upset about. So let's say there's been an update to some software. And you're like, oh, I'm so used to going here, and now I can't find that thing that I always go here. They've probably moved it for a variety of reasons. We may never understand why they've done certain things. Usually it's for the good, but sometimes like, why the heck did they do that? But we can't control that. Okay, we can't control what the vendor does. So what you want to do is go find it, search it. Usually when there's updates, they'll tell you what the updates have been. And so I just want to reiterate, like, not to get stressed out with computer updates, and because it's going to happen. Like, it will happen. Phones get updated, apps get updated, software gets updated, and we have to live with it. So always know when vendors update their software, it's usually to fix bugs or to implement something new. So there's always good reason behind it, but I know a lot of that it's frustrating for you. So what we do to help agents is we look at their systems from top down, and they learn a lot of things in our program, because we look at, number one, what's your domain name, or do you have a domain name? Next, how many email addresses do you use for business? We've seen, honestly, the most I've seen is something like 22. That's on the high side. But we see usually around 4 or 5 email addresses. And then we see agents using Dropbox and iCloud and OneDrive and Google Drive, all the top cloud storage when you really should only be using one. And then once all those systems are set up properly, then we look at CRMs. We cannot look at CRMs until your systems are set up properly. Otherwise, you're just like waiting out there trying to figure out what the heck. I'm going to try that CRM. I'm going to try that CRM. I'm going to try that CRM. Does it work for you? Well, none of them will ever work unless you're set up properly. Okay. So I hope this tip today helped you. Honestly, number one thing, if you're having issues with an app, is does it have an update? That's the number one thing. And then what's number two? Reboot, right? That resolves like a lot of problems, whether it's your browser rebooting the browser. You don't even know how to do that. Just reboot your computer. It will by default reboot your browser. And phones have updates all the time. So when a phone is updated, keep this in mind. When your phone has been updated, the operating system, sometimes that impacts the vendors of the apps that you use. So they have to issue updates. Now they usually know about it, so they probably will have the update. So if you're having issues, there's just been an update to your phone and now some app isn't working, go to the App Store and see if there's an update, okay? Again, it's Darcy from Agent Tech Mastery. Hope you have an awesome day. If you have any questions, please put them below, above, depending on where this is, and I'll be happy to check it out there, okay? Thanks so much. Bye.